When you do have health issues, it's so hard to track what you eat, where you need to eat, and spend 7 days outside of your house. It's a challenge for a lot of people. And know that you're eating these good quality foods with balanced meals. You have access to foods that you wouldn't normally just find on the regular cruise ships.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fit Vegan Podcast. Today, I have a very special guest. I have Sandy Pukel from the Vegan Cruise. So he's been intimately involved with the natural food industry for over 5 decades and has established an international reputation as a leader in this field. He is a natural food icon in South Florida, where he taught vegetarian cooking in the early 1970s and owned and operated the landmark Oak Feed Natural Food Store, a mecca for people interested in health and well-being. Together with the world macrobiotic leader Mikio Kushi, Sandy established a network of learning centers throughout Florida to teach natural food cook and holistic health. So in 1984, he founded a nonprofit educational foundation, A Taste of Health, which has hosted celebrities and internationally known holistic educators at conferences and open air festivals. So more than 30,000 guests and students have attended some of these events. His cookbook, Grains and Greens on the Deep Blue Sea, is the direct outcome of Sandy's latest venture, Holistic Holiday at Sea, a holistic Caribbean cruise featuring a delicious vegan food and education program that includes yoga, Pilates, macrobiotic, meditation, cooking classes, and much more. So Sandy and I were able to have an incredible conversation on this episode. We had Marisa, one of his team member, who was there to assist because Sandy was having a little bit of a hard time with his voice, as you'll hear in the episode. So you may want to crank up the volume just a tiny little bit. But it's an incredible conversation because I've heard so many great things about the Vegan Cruise. So we talked about the incredible speakers that are going to have on, like Dr. Greger, Dr. Clapper, Dr. Barnard, basically the opportunity to meet all the vegan rock stars of our world in one place, and you get to have lunch with them because they're on a boat. So ultimately, it's a really fun and educational conversation. I hope you enjoy this episode. Enjoy it. All right, welcome to the Fit Vegan Podcast. I'm your show host, Maxime Sigouin, and I'm the founder and CEO of Fit Vegan Coaching, a company that is on a mission to help 10,000 people get lean, thrive, and reduce their risk of chronic illnesses by 2033 and 1 million by 2050. I believe that having a fit, healthy body and mind is the foundation to living an incredible life, and this is what the show will give you if you choose to listen and implement. Enjoy the episode and have a great day. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Sandy and Marisa. I think I said it right this time.
Yes, you did. Yeah, we're welcome. Thank you for welcoming us. We're happy to be here today.
Thank you for having us here.
Yeah, very excited to have you both here. Sandy, we're going to be talking about, your story, your journey to kind of veganism and kind of how you came to build the Vegan Cruise, which I've heard a lot of before we were introduced. And so I'm very excited to be able to kind of poke around and ask some questions and hopefully attend the next one if the government will let me with my immigration. So, Sandy, would love to ask you, when did all of this kind of get started to go into the plant-based movement?
Well, the foundation is 50 years ago. 50 years ago, I did it, seminars in hotels all over the country. And then one day I said, if you have it on a cruise ship, you have a captured audience. They can't go anywhere. You eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. It's a whole different dynamic. So one day I said, okay, let's do it on a cruise ship. I went to the cruise line, and they looked at me like I was crazy because they don't do stuff like this. Because I said I want to bring on my own food, my own chefs, the speakers. And they said, well, you got to do the way we do it. You have to do 5-course meals at every meal. And I said, we don't need 5-course meals. And they said, yes, you do. If you're having it on our ship, it has to be a 5-course meal. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, appetizer, soup, entree, desserts, salad, every meal. And we thought it was over the top. People love it. People love it. They get served by waiters. They don't have to do any dishes. Gourmet food. Incredible camaraderie. So I tried to do it the first year. We got more people the first year than we ever had in all the times we did it in hotels. And each year we did double-digit increases for like 10 straight years. And we maxed out at 2,000 people because that's how much the theater could hold. Could we have more than that? Who knows? But 2,000 people is the main theater, and that's what we've been sailing with. 2,000 people. Sometimes the ship has less, maybe 1,500, 1,700 in the theater. But we're selling out almost every year, and people love it. It's a win-win situation. Education, fun, good food, and visiting exotic ports of call. So who doesn't mind that, you know? Plus, it's if you're a single person, you go on the cruise and you figure you're going to meet with other people that are like-minded. And we've had marriages and babies and all sorts of stuff like that. So I call it the love boat.
Yeah, you thought of it all. You thought of all the angles.
I try to.
Yeah, and I think you're right. If you lock people on a boat for a week and they can't go anywhere, they're forced to eat plant-based and to learn.
Yep, we got them. We have parties every night. We have yoga classes and exercise classes and fitness classes every morning. And it's incredible the amount of people that turn out for the classes. They're there for the education.
Yeah. So I'm curious, like, what made you want to jump into this venture? Because, you think of doing something plant-based back in the day, it wasn't as popular as it is today. So what was it that made you so passionate about doing this type of work?
Well, I've been plant-based for 54 years myself. And I raised 5 children this way, 9 grandchildren. I'm into it for real. It's not a hip thing, you know. It's my life.
Yeah.
My life's work has been to turn the people on to health and happiness by embracing a plant-based lifestyle.
What made you want to transition 54 years ago?
I went to a lecture one night and a cooking class, and what she said made sense. And that night, that was it. It wasn't it wasn't a sickness per se. Just I resonated with what she had to say. Call it a spiritual awakening. Who knows what it was, but it worked for me. And when I went home and I told my parents, and they said to me, "It's great for you, but what about when you have kids?" I said, "Because I want to have kids. I want my kids to grow up in a world where nice people, nice kids, nice healthy environment." So I'm into it all the way.
Yeah. So was it in that talking to cooking class, was it more like the health component that made that click with you? Is it the environmental aspect, the animal cruelty?
I think it's more the spiritual part, but all of it together. You know, she gave certain points like if you start eating this way, these good things are going to happen to you. And I said, "Oh, really?" And it might be laughing at it, but I said, "Okay, I'll buy into that." And obviously I did. Little old lady in Manhattan, little old lady in Manhattan, and she sold me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. See the ripple effect that she's had on you and that you've been able to have on thousands of people ultimately through all of your work and through the cruise ship. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, you play it forward just like you're on the air right now. How many people are you impacting now? We're all impacting. That's what our life is to do, to play it forward and impact as much people as we can.
Yeah. So when you started the cruise ship, I think it was 2004.
Yes, 2004. Yeah.
And so how was it for you guys to kind of market that and get people to come on the cruise ship? Because I would assume that it was and still is, whole food oriented. And I feel like there's like maybe it was maybe not as popular back then as it is today.
Snail mail. We did mailing, advertisement in vegan magazines, and mailing brochures, and word of mouth. The best thing was word of mouth.
That's awesome. You think people complain now about building a business and they have social media and have access to thousands of people, and back in the day you have to mail and connect with people in person.
I know, right? Incredible, right?
Yeah.
We made these brochures. We're putting the speakers, pictures, and it was incredible. And we sent out tens of thousands, but it worked.
Yeah.
If I can elaborate a little bit on that, something that Sandy has built, and I joined this company last year as a new managing director of operations. It's really is truly this immersive experience that occurs when you're on board that ship. And that, I've known of this cruise for 20 years as a follower of this healthy lifestyle, this plant-based diet, for what reasons I've gotten into it. And it was always very attractive because that word of mouth is so strong, especially amongst those communities that are looking for that healing experience and those life-changing experiences. So you kind of have this golden ticket here where you're creating this life-changing experience. You're bringing the education to them. You're bringing the community to them. And then you get to have life-changing experiences as you're sailing around these beautiful ports. You're getting to see new places and having new experiences, making new friends. So it's just this win-win-win situation, as Sandy says, overall, for everybody involved, from the passengers to the presenters, to the crew even who comes and works for us. We all just love what we're doing and what we're contributing to it. And then that gets around, that word of mouth gets around, and that's been the best marketing for a really long time.
So. Yeah, and that's how I heard of you guys, through Robert Cheek, who made an introduction.
Yeah. Robert's been a godsend. He's such a wonderful person to work with.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. I love Robert. I was watching old videos promoting the vegan cruise, and I saw young Robert Cheek in there. I was like, yeah, it's been a while. He's bigger now. He's got more muscle on.
Yeah.
we were all younger. We were all younger in the day.
Yeah. So I'm curious, like, what are some of the reasons that people want to go on the vegan cruise? Because I saw that a lot of people did vlogs and YouTube videos about their journey on the cruise, but I'm curious, like, what are some of the reasons that people would want to go on the cruise?
In the beginning, people came because of health. They wanted to get better. They said, wow, a chance to get better. And the other people were already vegan or plant-based, so they did it already. And the cruise line used to say to us, you have no cancellations compared to everybody else, because our people are committed to come, especially those that have health issues. Mm. So in the beginning, now it's become more and more fun. And I'll turn it over to Marissa.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, really. He hit the nail on the head with people come because, when you do have health issues, it's so hard to travel. And I know I can relate to this personally, as with my own personal health journey. With being so particular about food and what you eat, where you need to eat, and finding the right things that you're not going to react to go and spend 7 days outside of your house, it's a challenge for a lot of people who have any sort of dietary restrictions or allergies and so forth. So this cruise really does customize to that group of people where you can feel almost safe and secure and know that you're eating these good quality foods with balanced meals. You have access to foods that you wouldn't normally just find on the regular cruise ships. And so that is a huge component of why people go, for both who are struggling with health challenges or overcoming health challenges, and also who are just healthy but, want to be able to enjoy it. I think that food is that primary focus. And then, of course, the secondary reason, our two top reasons of why people come on the ship is the food and education. People love to hear the knowledge of these speakers talking, and it's such a unique experience because you don't just show up for, if you are attending an event and you're watching them speak for an hour or two and then you go home. After they're finished talking, you actually get to mingle with them. They're on the ship. They're sitting in the dining room with you.
They can't go anywhere.
You can't go anywhere. So you might end up having dinner or lunch with them one day, or seeing them on the dance floor that night. So you get to continue those conversations and, continue that lifestyle experience with them. So, you talk the talk and you walk the walk. You're watching them walk the walk with you. So, lead by example, and there's a lot of that there. So it's just a very, very unique reasons. And then some people just come to support their spouses and partners and so forth. And it's amazing watching those people who maybe didn't think about veganism come on and become inspired. Like our videographers last year who were not plant-based or vegan are now eating vegan because they were so moved by all the videos that they were watching, recording, that there's something to this and they wanted to experience them themselves. So you just never know, who's going to be inspired. And that's why we do this. So
Yeah, I think that's what's beautiful about it is it's a great place if a lot of people struggle with transitioning their partner or kind of introducing them to that world. So lock them on a boat with you, and then that's all there is to eat is delicious vegan food.
right.
They're forced to try it, and I think that element. I had a few friends attend the vegan cruise, Dr. Matthew Nagra, obviously Robert, and a few other people, and like it's so great that you get to go there and then sit down, with Rip or Dr. Barnard or Dr. Clapper and kind of have lunch with them because yeah, they're on a boat, they're not going to go anywhere else. So you get to have kind of these deeper conversations and connections, and you get to see other sides of them. I just met, I've recorded with Neil before, but I met him in person 2 weeks ago. Didn't know he was a musician. um, Dr. Frank Sabadino
Yeah.
from funny guy. I didn't like when I met him, it was in a professional setting, but hilarious guy. And it's just those things that you don't get to experience from those top people in the plant-based industry. So I think that's what's so beautiful about what you guys are doing is that people get to connect on a deeper level and get access to more information.
Right. Exactly.
Also in the dining room, we have open seating. So every meal, you're sitting with new people that you never met before, and you trade stories. And it's interesting when you trade stories, why they're there, where they came from, what's their background. And it's incredible to share that kind of stories. And in the beginning, people used to say they thought it was just going to be hippies on the ship. But it's regular people. We get all walks of life, from doctors to lawyers to cooks to massage therapists, just housewives, families. We get everybody.
Yeah, and I feel that's an important component that's missing in a lot of people that are wanting to transition is usually they're the only one in their community that is eating that way or is wanting to eat that way. So the fact that they get to connect with like-minded people, I think is beautiful. What is the structure of the vegan cruise? Like, what does that look like when someone comes in terms of experience, in terms of flow, in terms of things that they could experience?
Sure. So the program starts just on embarkation day. We have a welcome lunch, a little ceremony. We introduce all the presenters that day, and usually we open it up with a break presentation. And then, depending on the sale and the port dates, every year is different. The program will kind of be intertwined throughout the week, revolving around the port times. So we'll have classes in the mornings, in the afternoons, sometimes up until dinner, and then you're breaking for lunch, dinner, breakfast, like in between all of that. When we're at port, we do try to allow people to disembark the ship, to have an adventure, travel, experience Mexico, and and then they come back on, and we always try to put at least a class of an hour or two before people start coming back, in case there's people who are still on the boat. So that's pretty much the week. And then in the evenings is more of the social time. We have parties every single night. So there's dancing, there's that vegan pizza, we have vegan sushi, we have vegan ice cream. Just to cater to that fun side of it as well. Something we want to do is try to do more networking and social events, just to continue that reinforcement of people meeting people, allowing them to mingle. Sometimes we set up singles tables for those who are interested. If you are traveling alone single or looking to meet people who are single, they can sit there and just, again, meet somebody who's like-minded. So that'll be in the evenings and through the meal times. And then this goes on throughout the week. Sometimes we'll bring in shows or special performers, etc. It's really jam-packed and a full 7-day program until you get off that ship on that last morning. Oh, it starts in the morning classes at 7 a.m. every morning. We have exercise classes, and they're really great. They take place out on the decks. So you'll have your yoga or your fitness, like Robert Cheek will teach his morning exercise. Sometimes we have a walking track. Depends what it is, meditation. So you can pick from a selection of different classes. There's usually multiple classes going on at the same time. So of 2 or 3 classes that are happening, and then you get to choose each day. There's never a repeat class.
And keep in mind, The sunrise in the Caribbean is the background.
That's not a bad workout background. It's a pretty good way to wake up in the morning. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's what I was going to ask. Like, what are some of the stops that you guys are stopping at for the ports along the way?
Sure. So this year, and the cruise is March 8th through 15th of 2025. So we're going to Jamaica, the Cozumel, Mexico, the Cayman Islands, and then a private island called Ocean Cay, because we're partnering with MSC. So they own a private island called Ocean Cay out in the Bahamas, which is really, really spectacular. It's kind of like the Disneyland of islands. So it's just beautiful. You need sunglasses to go there because the sand is like so reflective of the sun, and you can't even go in the water without glasses. So it's really spectacular.
And where are you guys leaving from?
We depart from Miami and we return to Miami.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So what are some of the feedback what are some of the messages that people leave you after the cruise? Just 'cause I want people to know what it's like to be on it and what people are saying.
Yeah, I think, the biggest part is just how much fun it is, the food, the speakers. The food and the speakers are the primary thing. And most people are just so excited to come back next year. We do get messages of how this has changed their life, how this has inspired them. And not just people, again, who are just learning about veganism, but even the people who've been doing this for a long time are re-inspired to try new dishes, new recipes. Maybe they've heard something that the speaker has said that they didn't think of before, or just remote motivation, because we all need that. Who doesn't need to be remotivated every single day? And then the other thing that I really like about this cruise is since we really establish the program, we establish the flow. You get up in the morning, you do your exercise, you go to breakfast, you go to the class, you go to lunch. There's a structure to it. So when you do that for 7 days straight, living on this boat, living this lifestyle in this structure, you're more likely to go back home and continue that structure of getting up in the morning, doing your exercises, having your breakfast, eating meals at regular time periods, and then just doing something beneficial for yourself every single day. And I think that kind of continues on afterwards. Because when people, the feedback after is, I just can't wait to be back on the ship. They want to be back in that environment. We don't have enough of that out there, those immersive experiences. So I think that's one of the most special. That's what makes this experience the most special.
Yeah, it is hard to travel as a vegan. Like if you're trying to go to different places and around, Canada, United States, it is pretty limited in terms of, you're fearful that you might not be able to find good restaurants or good food, especially when you go to other countries. So I think it's a very appealing aspect of it is you get to eat delicious food. You brought up speakers a few times. Like what are some of the speakers that you have lined up for the next cruise to get people excited?
Sure. So Dr. Michael Greger is coming back. Neil Barnard is coming back again. Dr. Clapper is coming back this year. So that's exciting. We have a new yoga teacher, Koya Webb. So she's really fantastic. We've been following her for years, and we're so excited that she's going to come on and do some yoga for us in the morning, some other classes. There's really a whole new list. I think the best way, and we're continuing to get speakers on. I'm not sure the time of this podcast will add. It'll probably be a finalized program by then. But please go check the website. It's holisticholidayatSea.com, and you can see the program schedule. So we're continuing to update the speakers now of where we are, and so by the end of the summer, that'll be up there and running.
I always like to tell everybody we have the dream team of plant-based speakers. There's the who's who of plant-based speakers. And who doesn't mind, as a speaker, speaking to 1,000 people? You're in the theater. It's a high for the teachers also to have 1,000 people in the audience.
Yeah. And we have about 30 teachers on board. So it is a large, jam-packed group. There's about 80 classes that you can choose from over the course of the week. So it's a hefty program. You will not be bored, and it will be busy and rewarding.
And obviously, you don't have to go to any classes. You could just stay and sit by the pool or just go to the beach and eat the food. Because some people say, I don't want to get up and go to yoga because I'm on vacation. That's okay. It's free will, right?
We have different definition of vacation. I work out every morning, even when I'm on vacation too. So I'm with you guys on that. But I think you guys did a good job, because I think it's probably the only place that you can get all of those, quote unquote vegan superstars
Right.
in one spot, and then you have the opportunity to actually connect with them, eat with them, because a lot of times they're just spread out across different events all over the United States and Canada. But you guys managed to put them all in one spot on one boat. So it is one of the, I think, the best places to go and connect with all those incredible people that have changed, thousands if not millions of lives.
Yeah. And the subjects of the topics really do vary. So you go from diabetes to heart health, to cooking classes, all the way back to general nutrition, to maybe a sound healing class or a face yoga or chair yoga class. So it really does variety. So you can, homeopathy we have on there. You can pick and choose, and I love that because there's a little bit of interest for everybody.
Yeah, we have like we have an athletes panel, we have a doctors panel where people ask questions, and there's no question. You can ask anything you want, and the people are great. They love that. They love the interaction by asking that. And also over the years, we've been very fortunate. We've had a lot of years. We have CME credits that we offer and CEU credits, and so we attract a lot of doctors, which is great, because then they go home to their practice and they turn their patients onto this.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful aspect of it. So I'm curious, like, what are things that you wish that you want people to know as to why they should go on the cruise? Because a lot of time when we talk about certain events happening, we're like, oh, I hear kind of the highlights, but what are the main reasons what are the main things that people tell you after they're done? Like, I'm coming back for this exact reason. Like, I'm going to recommend my friend. I'm going to bring my husband or my wife to the next one. Like, what are those reasons that makes people want to go and want to come back?
I'll give my reason. Well, the biggest, what I call the heart of the cruise that we do, is the recovery panel. And it's an opportunity for people to hear those success stories of people whose lives have completely been changed or saved, and you're sometimes dealing with even stage 4 cancers to autoimmune issues to different diabetes. And, to see those people on board the ship, and for the regulars who come back year after year, and then see those people on board the ship every year just thriving and growing, it's an inspiration to itself. So I like to call that lecture kind of that heart of the cruise for me personally, because it's something I always look for. We're doing something right here. This is working. We are walking that walk. And I think that's what also makes other people think about not only for themselves, but their sons, daughters, spouses, friends, and say, hey, I think this is going to be life-changing for you. I want to inspire you too. So come with me and meet all these other people who have changed, who are doing this, and it's working for them. So if they can do it, I think you can do it too. So that's my kind of.
No, the key word to me over and over again is inspiration. Mm-hmm. It's to inspire people, and they get inspired. And there's no limit then. Once you're inspired to do something, anything's possible.
Yeah, you build beautiful things, and you change a lot of things in your life, and you don't look back.
Yeah, thank you.
So in terms of the food, I know the answer to this. So, but I'm for the people listening. What are the types of food that people can expect on the cruise, right? So is it whole food? Is it SOS? Is it using fake meats or fake chicken? What's kind of the types of food that people get to consume on the cruise?
Do you want me to talk about this? So this has also evolved over the years. So I think, as Sandy has mentioned earlier, the cruise kind of started out of a passion for macrobiotic philosophy and macrobiotic cooking. And Sandy and I actually both have found this vegan kind of lifestyle through that macrobiotic inspiration too, especially in dealing with health issues and so forth. from that macrobiotic diet, it's kind of branched out more into a more strict veganism. But we've also kept the passion of, we don't use any artificial sugars or sweeteners in any of our food. And MSC has really graciously been able to work with us to keep that quality. And so even any of those processed bags and so forth, we don't want them. We don't use them. That's not for us. Outside that, you'll see creative dishes. You might see a tofu inspired, chicken looking dish that could end up in one of the recipes. We do cater to oil free. We'd have a lot of requests for that. The full SOS diet, we have to say, it's not quite SOS, because for the salt content, you have to, it's very hard to please the masses.
For sure.
We do our best, but gluten free, oil free, completely sugar free, and obviously everything is vegan. And through that, we have a wonderful chef on board who designs these menus. And so every day, all 7 days, there's a different inspired meal. So you're not going to eat the same thing more than once. And then these are created in such a beautiful way where you sit down to dinner and you're not just getting one dish, you are getting a 5-course meal. So there's an appetizer, there's a soup, there's a salad, then the entree, and then the outrageous, amazing dessert, which I can't get enough of, because to me, it's like guilt-free food where you know that it's sugar-free and it's ingredients that are wholesome and good for you. And I feel like you're able to enjoy that more. So that's what you're going to expect. So, because it's not just a buffet style smorgasbord. There's buffet too. There's buffet options, which we do cater, but it's just really nice to be catered in a higher end scale and know that this is still good quality.
Yeah, absolutely. I looked at some of the food and dishes you guys had just on YouTube, and kind of some of the videos in preparation for this podcast. And it looks delicious. I could live on that boat forever. And I'm sure you have people that say like, hey, why don't you just make this a year round thing? I would just live on that boat.
People have said that. Why don't you make it for a month? We go, because we have a life besides this.
So you guys do it once a year, the cruise?
Well, we just got a contract to do it 2 times a year now. So it might be expanding to twice a year.
Yeah. The vision is to grow it. This is something that we are looking to do, possibly even return to some land-based events as well. So everything's on the table right now. But it looks very promising that you'll see us twice in 2025. So as soon as we have those solidified, we'll be able to make that announcement. There's a desire for it. People continually to ask us about, can we go to other locations outside the Caribbean? So we hear you, and we are working on it. And so we think you're going to be really surprised for 2025.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I might be able to make that second one then, if you guys are going to have the second one.
Great.
You guys, impressive. You've been at it for 20 years now. Ultimately, this year is marking 20 years of doing this. And we all, like, Sandy, you're a businessman. Most businesses fail within the first 5 years, right? It's like 95%, and then like 1% are left after a decade. You guys have been around for 2 decades. That means you're doing an incredible job for the cruise. So I just want to applaud you for that, because most people don't make it that long.
It's, I'm the world's eternal optimist. So I always think everything's going to work out okay.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. As long as you're serving from the heart, right? And that's what I'm getting from you and from the whole team, is you guys want to help impact, you want to help serve, you want to help educate. And I've only heard amazing things about the cruise. And in terms of investment for the cruise, I know people can see that on the website, but I looked at it, and I think that's really reasonable for everything that you guys are offering. Because if I get an Airbnb I just went to New York for 1 week, and I got an Airbnb, and it was more expensive than the whole cruise. So you get the food, you get the activities, you get the speaker, you get to connect with other people. And so it's definitely a well worth investment in people's health to be able to have access to that information, community, make longtime friends, maybe find a partner. Who knows, if you're going there as a single, right? Eat delicious food, and ultimately at least get a big kickstart on transforming your gut microbiome as well. Because eating that way for a whole week, if you're not used to it, will make a huge difference in people's health.
Definitely. Definitely.
What
Yeah.
price do you put on your health and happiness, right?
Yeah, well, hey, that's obviously I'm in the health and fitness space, but I look for fun. I'm from Canada originally, so healthcare is free. Go to hospital, but I'm immigrating in the States because my wife's from here, and I had to go to the hospital because I hurt my ankle playing basketball, and just to get it checked and an X-ray, I went out there with $600, and I was like, I'm not used to spending money on this stuff. This is free in Canada, and I looked at
Mm.
healthcare. If you get a heart attack, if you have to deal with any form of chronic illness, like it's minimum 30 grand to treat some of those chronic illnesses, that's crazy to me. Again, in Canada, you wouldn't pay as much, but if you live in the States and this is the cost of you going to the hospital if you get sick with those diseases, buy the organic food, right? Eat healthy, go exercise, because that is so much cheaper than going for a round of the hospital, basically.
Yes, absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
called priorities in your life. We
Yeah,
make priority decisions. Listen,
yeah,
why don't you talk
absolutely.
a little bit about the teachers offering consultations?
Yes, so that's another thing that we really do that's unique. So, in addition to after you hear these teachers speak, some of the doctors do offer one on one private consultations while you're on the ship. So, that's an opportunity to go and hear them speak, and then you get to sit down with them one on one right then and there, and really get that evaluation. So, that's always been really popular. The teachers and the doctors are happy to do that. And even not just doctors too. Sometimes we get private yoga, private, personal training sessions or private nutrition sessions. So whatever it is, it's both appreciated by the teachers being able to, share and network, and also for the passengers to be able to get immediate treatment, immediate guidance. So.
Yeah. Can people have access to the replay after the cruise from some of the talks?
Yes. So we record not all, we record most of the sessions, all the biggest ones and so forth. And we try to put together a package of at least 40 sessions that you will be able to take with you. So it's a package that you purchase. It's a little bit extra, but it's totally worth it because you get those videos. They're yours for a lifetime, and you can hear them over and over again. So sometimes people purchase the whole package. You can buy individual recordings. And that's something we're also trying to boost on our YouTube page now. So you'll see us post little snippets of some of the talks just to give a little teaser about what people are actually talking. And there you can still purchase them. So you can always check out the Holistic Holiday at Sea YouTube page. If there's a speaker you like and you say, I think this is really great, I want to hear the rest of it, in the description, there's a link to go ahead and purchase that full video. So it's only $15. So, I mean, what is that in a cost of your health? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's such a great idea because first, for the people that chose to just lay by the sun instead of listening to talk, at least they have access to it. All right. For the people that can't take 7 days off from their life, at least they have access to the valuable information that you guys are providing. Do
Exactly.
you mind kind of resharing the website again where people can find more information and basically lock in their spot, because you guys pretty much sell out every year?
Yes, we do sell out every year. So the earlier you get in to purchase your cabin and your registration, the better. Right now, tickets are still available. So you can go to holisticholidayatsea.com and you can get all information of there, just the 2025 March Caribbean. The date, again, is March 8th through the 15th. So there's a lot of information on the website. So take a minute, to read through all those pages. You can also find out about, our YouTube page, purchasing more videos, and any other fun things that we're selling on there. So.
Yeah, perfect. And for the people listening, I'll put all the link down below in the description, whether you're listening on Apple or Spotify or you're listening on YouTube. All the links will be down below for the websites, for the YouTube channel, their social media platforms. You guys can go follow them, stay updated with everything. Marissa and Sandy, any last things that you guys would like to share with the audience that you want them to know? In terms of, again, it could be about the cruise, but it could also just be about this beautiful movement that we're in.
The most important thing is whatever you do, do it with love and enjoy what you're doing. And people come on board. I think they have that experience. They take it to their heart and they go home with it. And we like to do that every day. That's our job, to make you feel comfortable that you're family, everybody's family. And I think that has come across over the years. And it's very grateful. I tell everybody, you have to have a good time. So I get a contact high from you. So it's your responsibility to have a good time.
And as Sandy says, always pay it forward. So if you're inspired, tell other people, pay it forward. We have to continue the messaging out there. So I'm happy to be part of this. I'm happy to have known Sandy for as long as I have, and excited for what's to come next.
Beautiful. Well, I want to say a big thank you for both of you for taking the time out of your busy life to jump on the podcast and share your knowledge and your excitement for the vegan cruise. For everyone listening, if I'm able to go on this one, I will be on this one. Right? It's just waiting on a few letters from the government, but besides that, I will be on that cruise, if not the second one. So you guys should definitely go and check it out. All the links will be down below in the description. Thank you very much to the both of you for jumping on the show, and everyone else.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for what you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And yeah, for everyone listening, we will see you in the next episode. Bye.